And in fact, if someone were to freak out and do something weird, like say stab kids, you know, that's on the extreme side. And I would wonder, because of my own experiences, someone forced me to experience something really weird. I would have never thought this way before. I am wondering, folks out there, who was puppeting that person? Because I would argue the person was puppeted and was heavily downloaded with certain beliefs or whatever. They say he was mentally ill, whatever. Somebody jumped in there and took over for him to go that far. So, let's put it that way. So, let's all go back to the powers that be of certain communities, or even opposite communities, or what do I want to say? Opposition, I guess, if you were to, you know, look at the world that way. Who jumped in there to make sure there would be something that could be seen as terrorism? To make sure that it would occur at this point in time, you know, not to beef up America, but just before America is about to have a major presidential election between, you know, the old powers that be and some newish people, an African-American female. And I don't know if she's gonna choose Josh Shapiro, but if she does, wham bam, thank you ma'am, we have, you know, a Jewish person running for VP. During the Palestinian versus Israel, Hamas, Hezbollah's in the mix, whatever. That's a big deal. So anyway, that song with all these kids, I know a whole bunch of people saw that song a certain way because they're on YouTube with their shorts, signaling people everywhere. Some people, you know, we don't want to get into it. Read the lyrics because they actually mention an expressive community services center, community center. And it, you know, kids, especially if they're artists, you know, I'm saying especially, but we don't know what people, I don't know what people do in other fields like medicine, like revolt against the world, but expressive, creative folks fight for their creativity because there's always somebody who wants to squash those who feel free-spirited. So those kids are out there. I think after reading the lyrics, to say you can't stop people from being creative and expressive. It's about oppression and fighting oppression. That I think is the core message. The problem is when you have, you know, a very Irish group, although in the video not everyone is Irish, but a very Irish seeming song, then there, you know, backlash could occur. And then we have Taylor Swift in the mix, and someone could point out, I think there's a video where she has a knife and she's stabbing it into a cake, or I don't know. We want to get into it. We have religious people, we have creative people who are trying to send messages that could be very positive, but if seen through a certain lens, don't look positive. It's hard to, anyway, we won't get into it. Point being, most people don't go around stabbing people, so something's going on. And I would argue that, you know, it's heinous. No way would I want my child, you know, I walk the streets very carefully here these days because, like, we'll just get through. But I'm just saying, who is provoking people to go crazy? So how can that be prevented? What could have prevented that person from doing what he did? And what's going on? Country is a free, sweet land of liberty, of the I.C. I was prompted to sing that song. I don't even know all the words. You know, I have to go back to the drawing board. But the saying, we have a, you know, hotbed coming up over the next few months because of the elections here and whatever's going on out there in the Middle East and everything else. It becomes, all of a sudden, it's like a worldwide issue. You know, everybody's having kids all over the place. I couldn't get anyone to have kids. I'm kidding. My whole life is a different journey. So apparently I wasn't meant to have kids, even though today I would be able to handle having kids at the ripe old age of 53. back when I was younger, I wouldn't have been able to handle it. I didn't have the money. I still don't. God provides, right? Wink, wink, wink. You know, it is preferable or helpful if people are in a good situation and feel supported in order to have kids. If you don't feel supported, then it's incredibly difficult. So anyway, that's my little story. I had to go through a whole journey of pushing through to the other side of a certain type of trauma growing up, only to have something unfold. The dogs were unleashed really in 2011, and of course they had to pick the year 11. So someone wanted to wake me up to a very lame and old system that is no longer used. They didn't know that. So a whole bunch of people are using a system that higher up people are like, oh God, she had to learn the mapping system without being paid and being harassed to death for it. So anyway, that's the dealio. 4 horses here at this show town. They also have a lot of buildings in Center City have a foyer that's like a checkerboard or a chessboard. So we just passed one, 250 South 17th, has a checkerboard foyer or lobby, tile, black and white. Barclay also, that's on Rittenhouse, they have a checkerboard, game board, foyer or lobby. Interestingly, I forgot, on Sansom, around the block from where I live, a whole bunch of restaurants have the Barbershop. Barbershop tile. So it looks like a barbershop pole, but it's like slanted tile, red and white or black and white. Shave and a haircut, 2 bits. New lunch menu, barbecue brisket. So I don't even know if I've ever had brisket in my entire life. It's not like rump roast, is it? My mom always cooked, oops, I just saw Gordon or Don on the back of Gordon food truck up there that was heading west on Walnut. I think it's kind of a British, it might be a British-ish dish. I grew up with like rump roast, pot roast, and turkey or ham. Other people would have like brisket maybe for the holidays or what have you. But I'm just gonna say right out, all of that is gang stalking. All that signage, all that signaling. People are in a loop and they'll go with it. Their marketing teams will go with it. So my concern would be, someone's playing a game, maybe it's politics or high business, grocery stores, agriculture, whatever. And I would read that as they've got someone on the chopping block. I even saw something like Chop House for a title of a YouTuber. I was like, uh-oh, Chop House. And Barbershop, shave and a haircut, 2 bits. All of that is, could be used to threaten someone. Say you were a target and you were afraid to be knocked off. Luckily, I've never eaten brisket, so I feel okay. I'm not going to be barbecued. Also, Hers potato chip signage up on Broad that says